You know, we have lots of innovative companies here in Cleveland, too. First, what I want to talk about is what I like to call Cleveland's Google. It's Highland Software. Got an interesting story about how I know a little bit about Highland Software. I do a lot of runs, and when I say runs, 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, that type of thing. Highland Software was having a 5K there, and it was a little bit chilly day. They had their headquarters open. So I started walking around on the inside, and I was walking down this hall, and a gentleman stopped me. He goes, "Hey, it's okay if you walk around, just don't go through that door because you're going to set off an alarm." And I was saying, "Boy, I was just admiring your building, so I just thought I'd take a walk around." He says, "Well, you know, I'm the facilities manager, so if you'd like a tour, I'd gladly take you on a tour." For the next half hour, I had a tour of Highland Software. I don't know if you could see this, by the way. See that red tube up there? That's a slide. That's one of two slides that they have. So you can go from the second floor to the first floor like this. Just one of the different things that they have out there. They do have steps for those of us who don't want to take slides. But you know, there's more stuff going on at Highland Software that tells you it's innovative than just this type of slide. As a facilitating manager was walking me around, I noticed their workstations. They were all low workstations. And he said the reason for that is they want you to be able to talk to your fellow workers. They want collaboration. They want to hear this place buzzing the entire time that they're there. The reason why that's important, when you're an idea company, you want ideas to flow freely as you're going along. The other thing that was really great about it is that he said that as an employee, you're not allowed to sit next to the same person for a year. They constantly move you around. They want different types of stuff. And the thing that they also like to have, they have really kind of cool meetings here. Their meeting rooms they're nice and homey, but before you go there, you go to this place where they give you this bucket. And it's a metal bucket about this big. And the bucket is filled with candies. Not just little candies like this, but regular size M&Ms, regular size candy bars, all kinds of neat things. Beverage containers, 20-ounce Pepsis throughout the thing, so they could throw it out there and get people really interested in what's going on there. By the way, a couple other things just want to tell you about this innovative company, and it's growing real fast. Last year, this company hired 350 people. Huge amount of people, all tech people. And something else that I always found unique, or I found unique yesterday when I was talking to the representative from Highland out there, he was saying part of the application process is that you have to write a poem for him to get there. Poem has to be 60 words or less, but it's a poem nonetheless. This is the kind of innovative, different type of thinking that goes on out here. The next company I'm going to talk about is my beloved Progressive, a company that I've worked for a number of years. You might say, gosh, what would an insurance company have to do with innovation? Isn't it just writing things on a piece of paper and then just giving a rate and being out there? Well, there's a lot more to it. A lot of people don't realize, but very soon we will have our 5th patent in the last 2 years. That patent has to do with UBI, what we call UBI, which is usage-based insurance. What it is, it's a little item about this big. We call it Snapshot. It plugs into the computer system of your car. What it does, it tells us things about whether somebody makes hard starts or stops, what times of day that they drive, the types of turns that they make, and things like that. People say, gosh, I really don't want to have Big Brother sitting around watching me drive. Just to let you know that you can save up to 40% on your auto insurance by having something like this. If you know you're a good driver, you plug this in, and you know you don't drive late, you're going to save $40 or 40% on your auto insurance. But there's more to it than that. Maybe you have some teenage children at home, and you want to know what kind of driving that they're doing when you're not around. The nice thing about the snapshot is it uploads it every night, the type of driving that has been taking place in the car. So you'll know if your teenage child has been out there driving crazy, doing all kinds of stuff. It kind of watches your teenage child while you're out there. But you know, there's more to this than that. You're thinking, companies like Progressive and Highland Software really don't have much to do with manufacturing. Well, that is correct. But we do hire engineers. We have software engineers. We have all kinds of technical people. Progressive has the #1 insurance site of insurance companies for 16 out of the last 17 periods. And by the way, Cleveland Clinic has the #1 hospital website out there too. But here's where the synergy comes in. When you're hiring engineers for your manufacturing corporation, many of them are going to have spouses. These spouses are probably technical people too. So now you have a way of getting some of the best talent out there to come to your place that might not be able to go to someplace else because, hey, we got a place like Highland Software. We got a place like Progressive for your spouses to come and work. We have all kinds of different places for you to go. Talk about another innovative company. This one here has to do with Lincoln Electric. For those of you who are not used to Cleveland, if you're driving east on I-90, you'll see a couple different windmills, but there's one a particular large windmill. Lincoln Electric is trying to bring wind technology to Cleveland to foster a wind industry. You know, people say Chicago's a windy city, but they got that reputation not because of actual wind. They got it because their politicians are very windy. Cleveland actually is the windy city, and because of the wind that we get off Lake Erie, we're supposed to be one of the best places for wind energy going forward. By the way, if you want to talk about a clean, renewable energy, it's going to be really tough to beat wind energy. Even solar power, you have to make chemicals to make those solar fuel cells. There's no chemicals in making a windmill. All it is having the energy to do that. But Lincoln Electric is more than just wind. You know, they have innovative ways that they have their employees incented. Employees can get 100% of their pay and an annual bonus that they have. It really pushes productivity. But because of places like Lincoln Electric, Cleveland is the welding capital of the world. We're also the sensor capital of the world and imaging capital of the world. We have so much going on as far as our innovative companies, whether it's Philips or Lincoln Electric or all the other companies out there, that the sky's the limit as far as the innovation goes. You know, we also have innovative agencies here. In Ohio, we have something called the Third Frontier. The Third Frontier will come up with ways to get money for you to do research here in your area. We also have places like Magnet who are going to help you. We have NASA who's willing to help you. We have local colleges that are willing to help you. We have a plethora of agencies here. But one of the things that I think is kind of unique, actually I know it's unique, is that we have the medical mart right here, the manufacturing mart. We're going to have the medical mart here, manufacturing mart here. Say you're a small company. You don't know where to get expertise, whether it's marketing, whether it's public relations. You know, we talked a lot about technical here, but there's a lot more to a company than just technical. You come right here to the manufacturing mart. They can put you in touch with whoever you need, whether it's other engineers, whether it's rocket scientists, whether it's somebody in the sensor industry, or whether it's marketing. You know, I read an interesting article about marketing, and that some of the manufacturers are using AOL as their address on the internet, and how that kind of makes you look like an old-type manufacturing. If you come here to the manufacturing mart, you're going to get advice where we're going to update your email addresses and anything else that you present in front of a customer. You know, when you think of Cleveland, you probably don't think of natural resources. But, you know, a lot of people don't know this. See that? That's the Utica Shale deposit. Utica Shale deposit starts up in Utica, New York, and as you see, it goes basically to the west side of Cleveland. Reason why that's hugely important is that just for natural gas alone, it is estimated to have the energy equivalent to 3 billion barrels of oil. Gosh, why is that important, you say? Well, it's important for all kinds of different reasons. One, it's actually bringing back manufacturing to Cleveland right now. They're building a new steel plant to handle pipes for this, to drill for this, right now in Youngstown. They're building in addition to one in Elyria right now that's going to employ people. There's talk about Timken building one in Canton if they can get the union to agree to it. That's just the very beginning. There's also places that are making trailers right now to handle all of this. But there's more to this than that. Because we're going to have inexpensive natural gas that's local, we have buses right now that run on natural gas. There are some trucking companies that are starting to run on natural gas. We're going to have cheap, affordable, money not going to politically sensitive places that you have right here in Cleveland. But there's more to it than that. We could change some of our power plants over from coal to natural gas. We're not going to run out of natural gas anytime soon. But you know, I could talk quite a bit of time about this, but that's going to be another speech for another day. We have other great natural resources too. For those of you who haven't noticed, we actually have a large salt mine right out here to the west of Cleveland. But right there, I'm showing you a picture of Lake Erie. Lake Erie is not just around for beautiful sunsets and beautiful sunrises, but it's a great natural resource. For those of you who were here yesterday, Steve Everett from Parker talked about water, and he said, water's going to be the new oil. Well, here in Cleveland, 20% of the world's fresh water flows right by our shores every day. You know, in Oklahoma and Texas, they actually ran out of water in some of the smaller cities earlier this year. 3 years ago, Atlanta, Georgia, came within 60 days of running out of water. They were telling people they could not wash their cars. They could not water their lawn. If you were caught doing that, you got a $1,000 fine. And you know what? If you didn't pay that $1,000 fine, they cut off your water, so you had to pay that right away. Because of that wonderful Great Lake that we have out there, we're not going to run out of water no matter what. And by the way, that water is more than just for industry. Water is out there for us to enjoy. We can go out there, go boating. We have some of the best fishing out there, right out there on the Great Lakes. Also, coming up, people don't realize, right there on that water, the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Lake Erie is taking place in September 10th, 2013. The Battle of Lake Erie was fought between the United States and Britain in the War of 1812. The reason why this was important, because of the victory that we had, that set the northern boundary for the United States thereafter. Before that battle, it was in flux where the northern boundary of the United States was. And a couple other things that I find really interesting about that battle is two great quotes came out of that people use. One is, "Don't give up the ship," and "We have met the enemy and they are ours." So I urge you, come September of next year, to go visit the islands that we have out there and try to relive some of the things that were going on with the great Battle of Lake Erie.